Winning any award means a lot because it's a validation of the work you do. You are the kind of work you've done. It shows that you've done some good work and which the kind of product is being adopted. So in this case, the case being adopted in many geographies in the world itself speaks a lot about the case. And we are truly happy that this case was used and found useful by many case teachers across the world. And we are particularly very happy that this being a case which is a recent case, I think it's just written 1 year back, and then that it has been adopted across various business schools, shows that the school has, this case has found a lot of usage in different business schools in different parts of the world. So personally, I'm very happy about this because this whole idea came when I and Hadia discussed, my co-author Hadia discussed about, okay, the digital transformation is something which is currently in a lot of people are talking about that, and in fact, a lot of organizations are going through that transformation journey. So if we write a case on that, possibly it should turn out to be a good case, and it has, which that's why it has been adopted in so many places. So I'm really happy about it, and thankful to the Case Center for circulating it. Through your channel only we could circulate it to so many people, and people have found it useful. Thank you so much. But any case for that matter has to have a very engrossing story. It has to have the hook which ties the case together. I think the kind of case we normally try to write is build a story around it and also try to make sure that the concepts are being used inside the case so that when it's taught in the classroom, a teacher can use those concepts, explain those concepts to the students. I think that's particularly one of the reasons why I think it is doing well. And we try to show that how digital transformation helps an organization to achieve something which without the transformation, it wouldn't have been possible. And organizations like Starbucks, I think they've used it beautifully. And, that's where the customer usage, you talk about customer experience, that the customer gets by using Starbucks products. It's all because of the digital transformation journey that they've undergone. So we try to capture that in the case. We try to bring in a lot of inputs from different places and try to make it a balanced case so that, yes, it has, the transformations happen, but there could be some roadblocks in the future as well. So what are those kind of things which the organization needs to take care? So I think it's a balanced case. It has both the positive side and also some bit of the negative side. So all put together, it makes a very holistic case. And precisely, maybe that's the reason why it has found adoption. I always feel like the case writing does not start with case writing, actually. So the whole process actually starts with what you want to teach your students, right? You have to go back, you have to step back and try to think about what are the objectives that you want to bring out from that case, right? So for me, the teaching objectives are the most important things. Once you lay down the teaching objectives, your 1, 2, 3 teaching objectives, and for me, it's like 3 objectives good enough. I don't want to go beyond 3. If you have those 3 objectives put together, then you go back and say, okay, if I want to teach these objectives or want to kind of learning outcome from these objectives, what kind of case should be written? So I step back and then I try to put a storyboard together. Now, it's all based on the objectives. So I tell my team as well that please don't bring the case to me unless your objectives are clear. Always in this organizations, what happens is in Case Research Center, we always first do a study of the objectives of the case and then step back and write the case. Both teaching objectives and the questions are very well tied because from the objectives only comes the questions. So there has to be a balance between what kind of objectives you put in your paper and then are your questions based on those objectives. So once that is clear, you can write a very good case. So that is what process we have been following. And I think if that is followed, half of the job is done. One more thing is, I think what we need to understand that there are 2 very important things when you write a case. One is the dilemma or what are the decision points. You have to be very clear about that, and that should come upfront in the case in the first 2 paragraphs. So that process, if it's followed, I think again you are very clear about what you want to teach in your case. And then any particular story that you want to say or the kind of issues the organization faces, it's faced by people, right? So that's where the protagonist comes in. So I think that's also of course, in all cases, we are not in a position to put a protagonist. But majority of the cases, we try to bring in a protagonist and how from the mouth of the protagonist, he or she is trying to tell the story. So I think if that is put together, so you have to sum it up. If you have your teaching objectives very clear, have very succinct teaching objectives, which are well tied to the case, and from those objectives, try to arrive at the questions. Once you have that plot ready, you go back and write your case. And when you write your case, the first thing that is very important is think about the dilemmas or what are the decision points that you want to drive through your case. Then based on that, also bring in a dilemma, in a protagonist. Now, if those things are put together, I think a beautiful case can be written. So I think these are very basic things, but we all, if we can kind of think about that when writing a case, our job would be pretty easy.